When I was a young man, I carried my pack, and I lived the free life of a rover. From the Murray's green basin to the dusty outback, I waltzed my Matilda all over. Then in 1915, my country said, "Son, it's time to stop rambling. There's work to be done." So they gave me a tin hat, and they gave me a gun, and they sent me away to their war. And the band played Waltzing Matilda as our ship pulled away from the quay. And amidst all the cheers, flag waving and cheers, we sailed off to Gallipoli. During the 80s, when I was a teenager, the song was in the air. I think in the 70s, June Tabor had started singing it around the folk circuit, and we were kind of tangentially attached to that circuit. But also, I think the Clancy brothers and the Furies had been covering Pogues' military songs, the Green Fields of France, and the band played Waltzing Matilda. So it was a song that was in the air and it was in the repertoire. And I was thinking about why did it mean so much to us? And I think because it was such a political time. And of course the Falkland War was on, or the Malvinas War as we were calling it. And the song just resonated so much. And of course Bogle wrote it after the Vietnam War. And he used Gallipoli in the First World War for the timelessness of it. And he didn't want to be part of the Vietnam soldier bashing that was going on. So the distance he gave it was for his own conscience, but it gave it that amazing timelessness. So it resonated for the First World War, Second World War, Vietnam War, and then right up until the Malvinas War for this whole new generation, my generation. The song just hit us really hard. And on our scene in King's Cross, there was a band called The Men They Couldn't Hang, and they'd taken the Green Fields of France. So we couldn't do that one. So Shane took the band played Waltzing Matilda. And it was always my proudest moment on stage when he was singing that, to look over at him and see the effect he was having. If you've ever been at a Pogues audience or you've seen film of a Pogues audience, that was not a peaceful folk club crowd. But when Shane sang band played Waltzing Matilda, there was silence. It was pin drop. It was so powerful. And he'd sing it that powerfully every night. You know, it wasn't something that would just come and go. It would be like the heart of every performance for me. Funnily enough, that one quiet song would just hold everyone. It was a very strong moment for us as a band. And I hate to think it will resonate for another generation, but you have to think it will. We recorded the band played Waltzing Matilda in, I guess it must have been 86, because it came out on our second album, which was Rum, Sodomy and the Lash. It was the last track on the album. It was great track listing. You go through all the chaos of that fantastic album, Shane's songs and a couple of trad songs, and then right at the end, again, that amazing performance. The recording's stunning. It was a really good way to end it, and I think it adds to why people love that album. Tom Waits named Rum, Sodomy and the Lash as one of his top 10 albums. And I know Tom Waits owns 100,000 albums. So it was pretty cool to be in there. And I think if you didn't have that really powerful song on there, it wouldn't be the album it is. I sing it myself now. Always a late night gathering. It'll come up at some point. I did a very weird thing. I went and did a circumnavigation of Antarctica about 10 years ago. And that song, every night, everyone knew it down there. Obviously, the New Zealand Heritage Trust that runs a lot of the bases there, and Australia has bases. I stopped off at a place called Casey Station, which is one of Australia's Antarctic stations. And the station anthem is Dirty Old Town by the Pogues. So we sing in that. But then the next song had to be in the band played Waltzing Matilda. So you can go from London right down to Antarctica. People know that song, they're passionate about it. It's an international song.